The Dow's gains were small, but they were enough to take the world's most recognizable stock market index to levels never seen before. Strong earnings, promising economic data, and reports of potential progress on trade between the U.S. and China lifted investor sentiment. So let's get right to those closing numbers. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 30 points to 27,492. The Nasdaq was up 1, and the S&P 500 fell 3. As we've been reporting, a handful of stocks are responsible for much of the market's gains. But as Bob Pisani reports, that could be about to change.
Beyond the record highs we've been riding, there's a much broader breakout that may be very near. Only 10% of the S&P is at new highs right now. 6 of the 7 biggest stocks in the S&P are outperforming. Apple, Amazon, Google, parent Alphabet. That could be changing. A handful of names are just 2 to 3% below new highs, close enough so that we get a little bit of move up forward in the markets. We could have a significant expansion of new highs.
All right, Shalom. This is HALAL by yasharahla of the Lions Den Camp. I want to say Kal Halayim La YAHAWAH BAHA YAHAWASHI BAHA SHAM Harakah Kodash Ma'amah. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and the elders. Shalom to you, Akim and Akwatim and children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth. You see here, man, it says what? The Dow jumps 200 points to record high after reports China and U.S. will lift some tariffs. Now, the reason I'm bringing this out, because beginning of this month of November, started off the countdown to the market crash. All right, which was really supposed to go down on the 4th and the 5th. Where you're supposed to start seeing the market change, but they made a deal. What's the name? China and the U.S. They made a deal on November 4th. Or they opened up talks about the deal. They didn't make the deal yet, but they're in talks about a deal to raise tariffs on each other. All right, on each other's goods. China said if America eases its tariffs from 30 to 25% or a little lower, then China would continue to buy goods from America and buy the debt of America. All right, and also they would not devalue their currency pegged to the dollar. All right, so they increased the value of their currency. Or they moved it up to 7. By doing so, they strengthened the dollar. So they strengthened the dollar because if they undervalue their currency and it's backed by gold, then that's going to be the hot commodity on the market. That's going to be the hot currency, and people are going to buy into the yuan, and they'll dump the dollars. All right, that'll cause an instant recession, and also it would kill the buying strength of the dollar. All right. So instead, China said, "Hey, man, we'll do all these things for you if you just ease the tariffs." And by doing so, all these investors around the world, they started investing in the market, saying, "All right, everything's going to be cool," which is not so. All right, so that basically an artificial propping up of the market once again. You know, where only 10% of the S&P is booming. It's crazy. So, well, we're going to hear about a collapse, man. And I got a chart that I want to show probably my next lesson. But I'm going to read this real quick. It says the Dow jumps 200 points to record highs after reports China and U.S. will lift some tariffs. So that's what boosted the market up. That's why it's skyrocketed out of nowhere, which is actually pushing it quicker to its downfall. All right, for it to reach its peak and breakout point. All right. Now it says Beijing said one important condition was that the U.S. and China must remove the same amount of charges at the same time. It says the Dow hit a new high after China said the world's 2 largest economies had agreed to remove existing trade tariffs. The Dow Industrial Average reached a record high on Thursday after China said the world's two largest economies had agreed to remove existing trade tariffs. The blue chip index climbed 200 points, or 0.7 percent. All right, with trade bellwethers, so that's basically percentages. I'm gonna go into see if they got something else. One important condition for a limited trade agreement, Fang insisted, was that the U.S. and China must remove the same amount of charges at the same time. All right, but then on the other hand, you have China making deals with India. So what is that? It's a phrase that China likes to say. All right, so yeah, I can't find the phrase, but they got a slogan that they said to Trump the other day, and they told him, they told Trump, they said, "Yo, as the river pushes some waters back, and it ultimately flows forward, that's the way China plans to go on with their business. They're gonna make deals with America, but they're still moving forward with their plans and world dominance." So this is Sirach 31:3. The rich have great labor in gathering riches together, and when he resteth, he is filled with his delicacies. With his delicates. The poor laboreth in his poor state, and when he leaveth off, he is still needy. So you got what? Your pensions, your retirement funds, and people that's working all hard in this society, and they invested in this place. That have their mind in this place, and that don't trust in YAHAWASHI. They're gonna be stuck out there because they're about to take everybody, all the elderly. They're gonna take their pensions, their retirement. All right, and ultimately, someday, people can go to these banks, and the bank's gonna crash. All right, and they're saying it's not coming, but it has to happen soon. All right, you have China the other day. They announced that they're switching to what? Blockchain. And all of these are strikes at the American economy, but what they're doing is just growing in front of America, and forcing America to be in the shadow of China. All right. And they still, saying they're making deals with America, whatever America needs. And they know America is a failing country, man. It's a failing kingdom. So at the same time, China is making backdoor deals with these other countries, and seeking world dominance. Obadiah 1:7. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. All right, and people like Moab, China, they're laying a wound unto America. All right, unto the whore. This is Sirach 21:8. He that buildeth his house with other men's money is like one that gathereth himself stones for the tomb of his burial. All right, so if you're rich in this society, it's ultimately going to be your downfall if you're clinging to it. All right, that gives you more to lose. If you have a lot of money and you praise YAHAWASHI, then that's different. But if you have money and you clinging to it, and you look at and you trust in Egypt and America, you trust in the system and all the traps and stumbling blocks, then that's ultimately going to be your judgment, to fall by the same. All right, to fall to those stumbling blocks and those traps and those judgments. All right, and that's it, man. Because America's about to crash, the economy's about to crash, the market's about to crash. As soon as the veil is pulled off, then it's gonna be real clear what's going on. Once that the facade is gone, the 10% in the S&P is gone. All right. So with that, I'm gonna say shalom.